You guys decided not to call Trooper Proctor. I know there was a fight over, getting, and you guys did great work on, getting Proctor's texts in and so forth. But there was the decision not to call, and this was probably the most contested decision among sort of the law tube community. And so, can you talk about sort of that decision and like why that was, why that was made? What was the thinking there?
You go, Bob.
Yeah, we can't speak much about that issue, as I'm sure you can imagine. It is one of the questions, so you asking it is perfectly understandable. There was, as you can imagine, considerable discussion about that topic, but not unfortunately able to go into the strategy behind it. But I will say something. There were significant evidentiary battles as a result of our decision not to call Proctor. And there were several attempts by the prosecution to try to force us to call former Trooper Proctor. And that was a fight that went on pretty much through the whole trial. And credit David Yannetti, because it was two parts, not calling him, but then how do we get the texts into evidence as to what he said? That was an epic battle, evidentiary-wise. David Yannetti ultimately won that battle for the defense. We got those texts in, and those texts were used at closing. Now, some people and social media and other areas may not believe that the impact from merely reading them as opposed to seeing former Trooper Proctor on the stand was what they had perhaps hoped for. I have a completely different review, respectfully, than those folks. I believe and am very, very comfortable with the decision we made. I was comfortable at the time with what we made. I was very comfortable with the effectuation, but the effectuation happened because of David's mastery of the evidence to get those to be read. So in conclusion, understand the interest in it. It was a big part of trial one, but that was part of, Ian, a larger universe of us coming at trial two differently. And that was really just part of the difference, and albeit to some a large part of it. But thanks to David, we got the evidence.